There are places on our planet that defy imagination. Places so vast, so ancient, so remote, they feel more like a dream than reality. Greenland is one such place. From above, as the first light of dawn touches its surface, it appears as a world apart. A colossal island of white, surrounded by the deep, dark blue of the Arctic Ocean. The scale is almost impossible to comprehend. It is a land sculpted by forces that have shaped our world for millennia, yet almost entirely untouched by human hands. This is a kingdom of ice, a fortress of solitude at the very top of the world. Its name, Greenland, is a curious paradox. Named centuries ago, perhaps in hope, perhaps when coasts were briefly green. But the reality is a landscape dominated by white. Jagged, dark mountains pierce through the ice, peaks like sentinels guarding an ancient secret. The silence here is profound, broken only by the wind, or the thunderous crack of a glacier surrendering to the sea. A place that challenges our sense of scale and place. The coastlines are a dramatic maze of fjords, deep channels carved by glaciers over countless ages. Sheer cliffs plunge directly into icy water. Here, the true power of nature is on full display. The water is littered with icebergs, each a unique sculpture. Some are as small as a car, others the size of entire city blocks. They drift slowly, silently toward the open ocean. A world in constant slow-motion transformation, serene and powerful. To witness Greenland is to feel profound wonder. A land that appears almost alien, from another time or planet. Beauty that is stark, pure, overwhelming. Yet this place is not a fantasy. It is a critical part of our planet's system. A frozen heart influencing climate and oceans. This land that feels like a myth holds a very real key to our future, and it is changing faster than we ever thought possible. The story of Greenland is, above all, a story of ice. The story of ice. The Greenland ice sheet is the second largest body of ice in the world, surpassed only by Antarctica. It is a relic of the last ice age, a survivor from a time when much of the northern hemisphere was covered in a similar frozen blanket. This ice sheet is immense. It covers nearly 80% of the island, a continuous dome of frozen water that is, in some places, over 3 kilometers thick. If it were to melt entirely, global sea levels would rise by more than 7 meters, a change that would reshape every coastline on Earth. Imagine standing in the middle of this vast white desert. In every direction, the horizon is a seamless blend of ice and sky. The surface is not flat, but a rolling landscape of gentle hills and valleys, all made of compacted snow and ancient ice. The air is so cold it feels sharp in your lungs. The sun, when it hangs low in the sky, casts long blue shadows across the endless white. There is a sense of timelessness here. But this world of ice is not static. It is alive. Deep within the ice sheet, the immense pressure causes the ice to behave like a very slow-moving river. This movement creates glaciers, which are streams of ice that flow from the interior of the island towards the sea. Some of these glaciers are among the fastest moving in the world. They grind their way through mountain valleys, carving the landscape as they go. Their journey ends at the coast, where they meet the warmer ocean water in a dramatic and powerful confrontation. This meeting of ice and ocean is one of the most spectacular events in nature. It is called calving. Huge sections of the glacier's front, sometimes miles wide, break off and crash into the sea with a deafening roar. The collapse sends waves surging through the fjord and fills the air with the sound of millions of tons of ice giving way. These newly born icebergs then begin their slow, majestic journey out to sea. This process is entirely natural, but it is now happening at an accelerated rate, a clear and visible sign of a warming planet. While Greenland may seem isolated and distant from our everyday lives, its health is deeply connected to the well-being of the entire planet. This colossal island acts as a giant air conditioner for the northern hemisphere. Its bright white surface reflects a huge amount of solar energy back into space, a phenomenon known as the albedo effect. This reflection helps regulate temperatures far beyond its frozen shores. As the ice melts and exposes darker land and ocean beneath, less energy is reflected and more is absorbed. That creates a feedback loop: more warming, more melting. The ice sheet is not just frozen water. It is a library of Earth's climate history. Each year, new layers of snow fall and compact into ice, trapping bubbles of air from the atmosphere. By drilling deep into the ice and extracting ice cores, scientists analyze those ancient air bubbles. Scientists carefully examining an ice core in a brightly lit laboratory with visible layers. They measure levels of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases from hundreds of thousands of years ago. This frozen archive gives an unparalleled record of past climate and crucial insights into changes we see today. The fresh water melting from Greenland's glaciers has a profound impact on the world's oceans. That massive influx of cold, fresh water flows into the North Atlantic and affects the ocean currents that circulate water around the globe. These currents, a global conveyor belt, transport heat. They help regulate climates in Europe and climates in the Americas. Disrupting this delicate system could have far-reaching, unpredictable consequences, potentially altering weather patterns and affecting marine ecosystems across vast regions. So we must ask, why does this remote, frozen land matter so much to us? It matters because it's not only unreal beauty, it's a vital component of the Earth system. It is a barometer for the health of our planet. Its melting glaciers and shrinking ice sheet are not distant problems. They are a direct message, a warning written in ice and water. Understanding Greenland is essential to understanding the challenges we face. It forces us to confront the reality of our changing world and our responsibility within it. When we look at a typical world map, our perception of Greenland is often skewed. The common Mercator projection, designed for navigation, distorts the size of land masses as they get closer to the poles. On these maps, Greenland appears monstrously large, often looking as big as the entire continent of Africa. This visual trick creates a fundamental misunderstanding of our planet's geography. It exaggerates the north and south. To truly grasp its scale, we must peel back this cartographic illusion and see the island for what it truly is. The reality of Greenland's size is both less than the map suggests, and yet still incomprehensibly vast. If we were to take Greenland and place it over a more familiar landscape, it is not the size of Africa, but it comfortably swallows the United Kingdom. France, Germany, Italy, Spain, all 5 countries combined under Greenland. It is more than 3 times the size of Texas, the largest state in the continental United States. This is not a small island at the top of the world. It is a subcontinent cloaked in ice, a landmass so large it has its own weather systems and dictates its own terms. Let's imagine a journey. Cape Farewell, Cape Morris Jessup, a flight of over 2,600 kilometers. That is roughly the same distance as flying from London to Istanbul. To drive it would be impossible. There are no roads connecting the sparse settlements dotted along its coast. The interior is an impassable fortress of ice. This immense distance is not just empty space. This geographical and climatic solitude has preserved Greenland as one of the last great wildernesses on Earth. It is a place where human influence is minimal and the raw power of nature reigns supreme, a scale that humbles all who encounter it. To truly appreciate the scale of Greenland, we must look beyond simple map comparisons and consider its physical presence on the planet. The island stretches across nearly 22 degrees of latitude. Its northern coast is the closest land to the North Pole. Its southern tip dips below the Arctic Circle, level with cities like Oslo, Helsinki. This enormous latitudinal range means it experiences a wide variety of Arctic conditions, from the slightly milder, fjord-carved south to the brutally cold, permanently frozen north. It is a world of its own. The total area of Greenland is approximately 2,160,000 square kilometers. Imagine the entire country of Mexico or Indonesia covered almost completely by a sheet of ice. This is the reality of Greenland. Its coastline, if stretched out, would measure nearly 44,000 kilometers, longer than the Earth's circumference at the equator. This colossal landmass is not just wide, but also high. The summit of this ice dome reaches an altitude of over 3,200 meters. Here, at this high point, you are standing on a mountain of frozen water. The weight of the ice is so great that it has pushed the central part of Greenland's bedrock down below sea level, creating a massive basin hidden beneath the frozen dome. As the ice melts and its weight lessens, the land beneath begins to rise, isostatic rebound. The ground is slowly lifting, a geological sigh of relief. From the ground, the interior of the Greenland ice sheet feels like another planet. It is often called an ice desert, and for good reason. The landscape is a study in minimalism. No features at all except for the subtle, rolling contours of the ice itself, sculpted by the wind into waves called sastrugi. Deeper within, immense pressure transforms the snow into dense, crystalline ice. That ice absorbs all colors except blue, giving crevasses a deep, ethereal sapphire hue. For humans, it is a place of profound isolation. To stand in the center is to be hundreds of kilometers from the nearest sign of life, surrounded by a silence so complete it feels physical. This vast, empty expanse is, paradoxically, a place of constant motion. The entire ice sheet slowly flows outwards from its center toward the coasts. The frozen heart is the engine driving the dramatic processes at the edges. The Greenland ice sheet is not a static block of ice. It is a dynamic system in perpetual, albeit slow, motion. This process, known as glacial flow, is the mechanism that transports ice from the high-altitude interior down to the lower-altitude coastlines. The ice flows through distinct channels, like rivers, forming what we call ice streams, or outlet glaciers. These are the fast lanes of the ice sheet. The Jakobshavn Glacier, for example, has been recorded moving at speeds of over 40 meters per day. It is a river of ice, grinding its way to the sea with unstoppable force. What lubricates this movement is water. Meltwater from the surface can trickle down through cracks and crevasses, reaching the very bottom of the ice sheet. This water acts as a lubricant between the ice and the bedrock beneath, reducing friction and allowing the glacier to slide forward more easily. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. A warmer climate leads to more meltwater, which leads to faster flowing glaciers, which deliver more ice to the ocean, contributing to sea level rise. The journey of Greenland's ice culminates in one of nature's most awesome spectacles, glacial calving. At the terminus, massive cliffs of ice tower over the water. Without warning, huge cracks can race across the face of the glacier, and then, with a deep, thunderous roar, a mountain of ice detaches and falls into the sea. The impact of this falling ice is tremendous. It creates a localized tsunami. For a few moments, the serene beauty of the Arctic fjord is transformed into a scene of violent upheaval. Once the chaos subsides, a new iceberg, or many icebergs, have been born, beginning their long, slow journey out to the open ocean. This process, while natural, is a critical indicator. An increase in this activity is a direct and visible sign of a warming climate and an accelerating loss of Greenland's ice. The soundscape of Greenland is defined by its ice. The most prevalent sound is the subtle, internal creaking and groaning of the glaciers themselves. Even the icebergs that have already broken free have their own voice. This creates a fizzing, crackling sound, known to locals as bergy seltzer. As their center of gravity changes, they can suddenly roll over in the water with a great splash and a groan. This symphony of cracking ice is more than just a natural wonder. It is the sound of change. The sounds of Greenland are the sounds of a planetary system in transition, a beautiful but haunting soundtrack to the story of our planet's future. The ice of Greenland is not just white. This bubble-free ice absorbs the longer wavelengths of light while allowing the shorter blue wavelengths to pass through. This is why old, dense glacial ice appears in such a stunning and vibrant range of blues. You can often see these colors in dramatic stripes on the sides of icebergs. These dirt bands are a visible record of the glacier's journey, a fingerprint of the landscape it has traveled over. The water in Greenland's fjords is often a milky turquoise color. When a deep blue iceberg floats in this turquoise water under the clear Arctic sky, the combination of colors is breathtaking. The oceans around Greenland are a powerful system of currents. The most important of these is the East Greenland Current. It acts as a massive conveyor belt. Many become grounded in shallow coastal waters. This creates what is known as an iceberg graveyard, a spectacular collection of stranded ice giants. This is the same path taken by the iceberg that famously sank the Titanic in 1912. The ice that begins its life in a remote Greenlandic fjord can travel thousands of kilometers. In this vast, seemingly inhospitable land of ice, life doesn't just exist, it thrives with remarkable resilience. For thousands of years, the Inuit have called Greenland home. The heart of Greenlandic life is its small coastal towns and settlements. Modern communities with schools, shops, hospitals, yet deeply connected to traditional ways of life. This culture doesn't try to conquer nature. It lives in harmony with it. A relationship built on deep respect, careful observation. Today, this wisdom exists alongside modern tech. This blend of old and new shows Inuit strength and adaptability. In a land with virtually no roads connecting its communities, the primary highways are made of water and ice. For most of the year, the sea is the lifeline of Greenland. When winter descends and the sea freezes over, a new kind of highway emerges. The traditional mode of transport here is the dog sled. The sound of a dog sled team is one of the quintessential sounds of the Arctic winter. It is a living tradition that speaks to the deep relationship between humans, animals, and the frozen environment. However, these traditional highways are under threat. Climate change is making the sea ice less predictable. Routes that have been used for generations are no longer safe. Vast Greenland wilderness, home to remarkable wildlife. The most iconic, the polar bear, the undisputed lord of the Arctic. They use the ice as a platform to hunt seals. A polar bear will wait for hours by a seal's breathing hole. As the Arctic warms and sea ice diminishes, bears face a critical threat. The polar bear's fate is a poignant symbol of climate change. The cold, nutrient-rich waters surrounding Greenland are teeming with life. Humpback whales are a common sight, known for their acrobatic displays. Among the most unique residents of these waters are the narwhal, famous for its single long tusk, and the beluga, their white bodies a ghostly presence in the dark waters. Above the water, the air is filled with the cries of millions of seabirds. In the summer, these cliffs transform into bustling bird cities. These interconnected webs of life are all dependent on the delicate balance of the Arctic ecosystem. As the climate changes, this delicate balance is being disrupted. One of the most surreal and defining characteristics of the high Arctic is its extreme cycle of light. For several months during the summer, the sun does not set. This phenomenon is known as the midnight sun. This endless daylight has a profound effect on the natural world. For the people of Greenland, the period of the midnight sun is a time of energy and activity. Just as the Arctic summer is defined by endless light, the winter is defined by its absence. This is the polar night. For the people of Greenland, indoor activities, community gatherings. The warm glow of house lights provides a comforting beacon against the dark. The polar night is also the stage for one of Earth's most magical phenomena, the aurora borealis, a silent, dancing curtain of light that shimmers across the sky. To stand beneath the northern lights in the crisp, cold air of the Greenlandic winter is a humbling experience. It connects you to the vastness of the cosmos. Along with the blue ice and the midnight sun, the aurora is part of the unreal beauty of Greenland, a magical and unseen phenomenon made visible. We have journeyed across a land that defies belief. This is Greenland, a place of such stark, monumental beauty that it feels more like a dream than a part of our own world. The unreality of Greenland lies in its extremes. A place where the sun refuses to set for months, only to vanish completely, leaving the sky to be set ablaze by the celestial fire of the aurora borealis. This feeling of unreality, this sense of wonder, is a vital part of the Greenlandic story. It draws us in and forces us to pay attention. Yet, for all its dreamlike qualities, Greenland is undeniably real. The ice underfoot is real. The cold air in our lungs is real. And the changes that are sweeping across this land are devastatingly real. Each year, hundreds of billions of tons of ice are lost to the ocean. The most direct and understood impact is sea level rise. The fate of our coastlines is inextricably linked to the fate of Greenland's ice. The influx of cold, fresh water into the North Atlantic has the potential to disrupt the great ocean currents that regulate our climate. A significant slowdown of this system could have far-reaching and unpredictable consequences. The echoes of this melting giant are a warning. The changes happening here are not isolated. They are a clear and visible symptom of a global fever. The challenges are immense, but the story of Greenland is not solely one of loss. It is also a story of resilience and hope. We see it in the tireless work of scientists. We see it in the adaptability of the Greenlandic people. The wonder it inspires should fuel not despair, but a determination to protect it, and in doing so, to protect our own world. The unreal beauty of Greenland is a gift, but its very real fragility is a profound responsibility we all must share. The story is still being written, and we all have a part to play in its conclusion. What part of Greenland's story amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you have been moved by this journey, please like this video and subscribe for more stories from our incredible planet.